Welcome to soft skill first class. By now we have covered up 3 lectures, right? In the initial or the first lecture, I tried to let you know soft skill is a macro concept in which there are many subjects involved, in which I said even philosophical concepts are there, management concepts are there, sociology concepts are there, language concepts are there, literature concepts are there, right? And it is today that you will realize how the term itself is basically associated with these subjects, because every subject has different models, different objectivity, different thought process, different the result we target, the questions that we ask to gain knowledge is different for different subjects. So, what is the topic at hand today? Approaches to communication. You know what? I would like to first of all let you know what approaches mean. Approaches means assumptions. And what are those assumptions? Again, if you remember, in one of the lecture I made you know through a particular analogy that how a small baby in a family gains the knowledge about the environment, about the family, about the society, about the world, about the universe, right? And there what happens? What are the sources through which he is gaining knowledge? External. Internally he is not having any concepts. A small baby doesn't have any concept, any information about the world. If we talk about the modern science says that it is the environment which has a great impact on human psychology in development of ideology. So, a novice child learns from the environment. And see, I am talking environment. It may be environment of the particular society, it may be the environment of the particular family, it may be the environment of a small house. And when I say environment, family, small house, society, there are lots of things hidden in it. Every people practices different religion. There are different caste, creed, race. There are different culture, tradition. There are different lifestyle, eating habits, clothing habits, right? The philosophical concept on which they live their life is different. And all these things that right now I have mentioned is transmitted to that baby. Baby consider his parents, for the father or mother, as an ideal source of information. Baby starts picking information from the father and mother, brother and sister, grandfather, grandmother, and he considers that this is the base of knowledge. They are the reliable source, authentic source. And in that particular thought process, what he does is he starts observing the lifestyle that the particular parents is living. When do they get up? What they eat? How do they behave? What cultural practices are there? What ceremonies are there? What festivals they celebrate? What is the concept of God in their particular religion? Every small little things, microscopic things he observes. And you know what? All these observation creates his perception. All these observation creates his ideology. All these observation creates his personality. And these are all that initial information acts as the guiding principle for him. Whenever he grows up and is in the society, he is in the school, he is in the say in the professional setup, those guiding principle helps him to decide what is right, what is wrong. But there is a question which I would like to ask you. What information, what argument, what logic is that a particular family in which I was born, suppose I consider about myself, let me take an example of myself. I was born in a family, I had my mother, father, right? They had a different kind of lifestyle, they had culture, tradition. I am a Hindu by belief, by faith I am a Hindu, right? So we believe the concept of God. There is a different concept of God in Hinduism itself. Advait Vedanta says, Advait Vedanta says, individual, the soul and the Almighty, they are two different things. But Advait Vedanta says, no, everything is God. I am just referring a certain text which you may be interested to know. Isha Upanishad says everything is God, from stone to mountain to animal to human being to plant, everything is God. That particular part of God is there everywhere, and there are different practices. So I was made aware about these particular philosophical concepts in the different practices that my parents had. But is there any authentic source which says that all that my parents did was right, or is the ultimate universal truth? Is there any scientific argument, research that says that my parents were right? No. There were things that my parents did may not be right, in the bigger context. Now, but all that learnings that I drained down from my parents, and that was my benchmark, that was my ideal concepts based on which I made decisions in life. I considered, I categorized, I classified certain people to be good, certain people to be bad. This is what is happening in the society, right? If you talk about America, recent news says the apartheid, the blacks are revolting against the white. That racism is there. One of the person was killed, the innocent black was killed by the cops in America, and all the black across America and Europe started revolting against the white. So white consider themselves to be superior just because the skin is white. Hey, what logic is this? And again, there are other concepts which says that Hinduism, and Muslims, Christians, they all say that my faith is the best. Hey man, what philosophy, what scientific facts, what scientific research says that particular thing is right and particular other thing is wrong? So there is no as such research that says that one particular reason is right, one particular belief system is right. No. Why am I speaking all these things? I want you to understand, being a science oriented person, you should not have any fixed, rigid ideology. Right? Why? While you are observing in a lab, suppose generally what happens, let me cite an example and then I'll come down to the scientific small experiments through which I'll try to prove my point. Suppose in late past, I was traveling in a train and one of the person who was my co-passenger, who was talking too much, he was a chattersome, he was talking too much, and at the end of the day, what I realized, he stole my purse, my wallet, and he got down in one of the particular platform. I had an impression, I created an identity, a particular impression saying that whosoever talks too much will be a cheater. Whenever in near future I come across person who talks too much, I will suspect, I will be suspicious. I will think, hey, this man is not good, he may cheat me. But is this necessary that all the person who talks too much are cheaters? No, it's not like that. Every individual is unique in himself. Every different situation is unique in himself. The context in which communication takes place is unique in itself. So why should I supersede one particular past experience over the present experience? Right? Never do that. A scientific person, why is these things taught to you in soft skill is to make you aware about the rationality. See, there are certain topics, certain headings that I have written on the board. A good approach of communication is reciprocity, objectivity, rationality, utility, and universality. How you can have these minute principle in your day-to-day communication? That is what I am talking. I am trying to prove through different examples that how a man tries to create a cocoon of knowledge and consider that knowledge to be the ultimate truth. No! There is always a possibility of new information. There is always a possibility of unique information in the society, and you will be only able to understand, observe those uniqueness if you are not having a fixed identity, fixed ideology. What happens? If you wear a blue glass, all the world looks blue. Can you say that really all the world is blue? No, it is the glass which is making you see all the things blue. If you wear a black glass, everything will be seeming black. If you wear some colored glass, the environment will look like that. But you cannot claim what you are watching, what you are seeing is the fact. And science is all about decoding the fact. Science is all about decoding the fact. And if you are not able to observe the fact, then you are not the right person in the scientific world. Right? Suppose you were doing a vernier caliper experiment in intermediate, and in a vernier caliper experiment during your intermediate physics class, you marked some observation and you consider that that is the ultimate truth about that particular vernier caliper. And in B.Tech, suppose you are again asked to do the same experiment, and now you consider that no, the same problem that existed during my intermediate will again occur. Is it necessary? Is it necessary? No. Because that environment, that instrument when you use in intermediate was different, this instrument and this environment is different. So you have to have an unbiased, you have to have an unfixed, you have to have a very clear-cut neutral mindset. A person who has a neutral mindset, you know what? He observes reality. See, I have written a term reality. A person across life from his childhood to his adulthood, if he is able to decode the reality, decoding means, how will decoding be taking place? If he has a good observation skills. And if he has a good observation skills at every instance of his life, if he is literally observing the reality as it is, and if he is, as I have already cited lots of examples, please do not consider that all that your eyes are perceiving, your ears are listening, your whatever your touch sensations are feeling, whatever your smell sense is giving, not necessary that they are the fact. Right? So, observation, reality. The moment you are very much clear about the reality, then what happens? Why are you not able to, there are average students in class everywhere across world, and there are average students. Why? They are physically present in the class and mentally absent. Physically, through physical appearance, they are there in the class, and while the faculty is teaching, they are lost in their own thought process. And that's the reason why partial information comes down to them, and that's the reason they are uncomfortable, underconfidence, and they are never able to perform good, and not able to perform good, that's the reason they are not able to secure good, fight good competition and not get a good job. Let me cite an example of everybody may be knowing Abhimanyu. What generally happens if you perceive partial reality? You might have heard of Abhimanyu. When Abhimanyu was there in the mother's womb, Arjuna was telling the story of how to knock down the Chakravyuha. And He started telling about one by one how the first Chakravyuha is to be knocked down, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, right, like that. When he was about to tell the last Chakravyuha's secret, mother slept, even the baby slept. And he was devoid of the information related to how to knock down the last Chakravyuha. And finally what happened? It is known to everyone what? Abhimanyu was killed in the Mahabharata just because he was not having the right information related to the last Chakravyuha. So what I mean to say is, the more and accurate, exact and complete, more accurate, exact and complete information you have about the reality, better is your understanding, better is your knowledge, complete is your knowledge, better you will perform, and better if you perform, hey, success will follow you. You don't have to follow success, right? So now let us now gradually come to discuss about one by one aspect of the approaches of communication. So by now what we are clear is, approaches to communication means that everybody has an assumption. When I say assumption means what? Set of belief system, set of ideology, set of personality traits, set of identity. These all things is there in each and every individual. Now, what is knowledge? अज्ञान से ज्ञान की ओर. What is the knowledge? अज्ञान से ज्ञान की ओर. So, the belief that what I know is complete is ajnan, and to know that what the reality is jnana, right? So, reciprocity. What is this reciprocity? Reciprocity is when, in the last lecture we dealt about, last lecture we dealt about the process of communication. I made you clear that there are three fundamental models of communication. What are those? That is process of communication, language, and what was that? LSRW, listening skills, reading skills, speaking skills and writing skills. Every action across world, whosoever does, revolves around these four activities, right? Either he is listening, either he is speaking, either he is writing, either he is reading. These are the only four things. And he uses language, right? Or he acts as a sender, right? Right now I am a sender and you are listening, you are the receiver, right? So fine, that is the thing. So reciprocity means mutual cooperation, coordination. When I say mutual cooperation, coordination, what I mean to say, you know what? There should be respect, there should be trust, there should be respect, there should be trust amongst both the sender and the receiver. And if that is not there, you know what? If the respect and trust and faith is missing amongst the sender and receiver, then the communication can never take place. Hey, let me ask you a question. Definitely you might have boarded plane, definitely you might have boarded train. Tell me, before boarding to your berth, that reservation was there, have you ever cross-checked that the driver is there on the seat or not? No, you had the faith in the government, you had the faith in the system, railway system, that no, definitely, if the train is there on the platform, driver would be there. Who would drive the train? That faith, that trust. While you fall down into the communication process, believe, trust, respect the sender. Sorry. Believe, trust, have faith on the sender. Sender is your well-wisher. This is what your mindset should be. And if you consider this way, what would happen? You will be having a wide open eyes, ears high alert. You are perceiving every information classically, completely, and this complete attention, focus, alertness will let you drain down all the information, argument, logics, concepts that is being disseminated, conveyed by the sender. So reciprocity means reciprocating. If the sender is giving respect to you, you should give respect to the sender.